this special occasion with His Excellency Chai Chaiwawid, Permanent Representative of Thailand to the United Nations. I will now begin with my welcoming remarks. It is my great honor and privilege to warmly welcome you all to this celebration of the International Day of Vesak, organized by the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka to the United Nations and the Permanent Mission of Thailand to the United Nations. A very warm welcome to Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra and all the Venerable Bhikkhus from Huang Dao Vipassana Bhavana Center. It is also our honor to have the presence of Venerable Hin Bunne Kondanya Tero, Venerable Prama Thavin Tero, and all other Venerable Theros at this auspicious event. I also take delight in welcoming the permanent representatives and delegates of diplomatic missions of UN member states. It is my pleasure to welcome the staff members of the UN, invitees, and all those who are joining us in observing this important day. As you know, this event marks the 27th anniversary of the General Assembly Resolution 54/115 on international recognition of the Day of Vesak at the United Nations headquarters and other United Nations offices. Sri Lanka and Thailand were part of the core group of this resolution. On this auspicious day, we commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and the great passing away, parinirvana, of Lord Buddha. The Lord Buddha showed the world the true potential of the human mind and left behind a teaching that provides a clear path to peaceful, meaningful, and compassionate living. The teachings of Lord Buddha continue to inspire millions of people around the world with the timeless values of compassion, wisdom, tolerance, and peace. According to traditional Buddhist sources, the Lord Buddha visited Sri Lanka 3 times during his lifetime. These visits are foundational to Sri Lankan Buddhist identity and considered as sacred acts intended to bless my motherland. Significantly, 2 of these visits were undertaken to intercede conflicts and disputes among local tribes and rulers, thereby emphasizing the Buddha's role as a mediator of peace, reconciliation, and harmony. Buddha's teachings on nonviolence are in particular important in the context of modern-day governance. Buddha taught that, I quote, "All tremble at violence. Life is dear to all. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill, nor cause another to kill." I close quote. He also preached that, I quote, "One who, while himself seeking happiness, oppresses with violence other beings who also desire happiness, will not attain happiness hereafter." Close quote. In this backdrop, there is no doubt that the teachings of Lord Buddha can offer valuable guidance in resolving the conflicts currently affecting many parts of the world and claiming thousands of precious lives. Applying these principles of compassion, nonviolence, understanding, and reconciliation can contribute significantly toward ensuring lasting peace and security across the globe. Sri Lanka, as a nation, benefited immensely from cultural diplomacy and cordial relations with neighboring nations. More than 22 centuries ago, during Emperor Asoka's reign in India, his son Mahinda Thero, accompanied by a group of fellow Buddhist monks, undertook a historic mission to Sri Lanka. On his very first visit, Venerable Mahinda Thero delivered a sermon to the then ruler of Sri Lanka, King Devanampiya Tissa, who thereupon embraced Buddhism. This led to the initiation of several religious, cultural, and social developments that deeply rooted Buddhism in the hearts and lives of Sri Lankan people. Vesak reminds humanity of our shared responsibility to cultivate understanding, respect for all beings, and harmony among nations and communities. Sri Lanka is deeply honored to join the international community in observing this important day, acknowledging Buddhism's enduring contribution to spirituality, peace, and human dignity across the world. More than a religious observance, Vesak is a reminder of the universal values of compassion, tolerance, mindfulness, and peace, values that resonate deeply with the principles and aspirations of the United Nations. Today's gathering reflects that shared commitment to harmony among nations and peoples. As I conclude, I wish to thank His Excellency Charche Chevi Chawawit, Permanent Representative of Thailand, to the United Nations for co-chairing this auspicious event with me. Let this celebration inspire all of us to work together for a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. I thank you all for your presence and wish you a meaningful and blessed Vesak. Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, to begin the high-level segment of the commemoration of the Day of Vesak this year, I would like to invite Ms. Sofia Borges, the Chef de Cabinet of the Office of the President of the UN General Assembly, to present remarks of Her Excellency Ms. Anela Baerbock, the President of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, and good afternoon, Excellencies. And let me take this opportunity to also thank the permanent representatives of Thailand and Sri Lanka for co-hosting and co-chairing this commemorative event on the International Day of Vesak. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the President of the General Assembly, I convey warm greetings to the Buddhists around the world in today's International Day of Vesak, a moment to commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Lord Buddha. But it is also an opportunity to reflect on his teachings, speak to the realities of the world today. At a time of deep uncertainty and division, the Buddha's wisdom continues to resonate across cultures, religions, and societies. More than 2,500 years later, his teachings of nonviolence, loving kindness, compassion, and mindfulness remain profoundly relevant. They offer not only moral but practical tools for navigating conflict, fostering understanding, and building trust. And in many ways, the teachings of the Buddha also echo the founding ideals of the United Nations: to choose dialogue over discord, cooperation over conflict, and understanding over hatred. His vision of peace extends beyond the mere absence of conflict. It calls for social justice and respect for the dignity of every person, values that underpin the three pillars of the organization. His teachings of the middle path, rejecting extremes in favor of balance, offers a powerful lesson for our work today. In a world often defined by polarization, it reminds us of the importance of restraint, compromise, and common ground in advancing shared solutions, from sustainable development to climate action. Above all, the Buddha's teachings reflect a deep understanding of human interconnectedness, that actions in one part of the world reverberate globally. On today's Vesak Day, let us carry forward these values, not only as enduring spiritual ideals, but also as practical principles to guide our work as we strive to build a better world for all, better together. I thank you so much.
I thank the President of the General Assembly for her remarks. I now have the honor to introduce the video message from His Excellency Mr. Vijita Herath, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism of Sri Lanka.
Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, Venerable members of the Buddhist clergy, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I address this August Assembly on the 27th anniversary of the adoption of this landmark resolution 54/115 titled International Recognition of the Day of Vesak at the United Nations headquarters and the other United Nations offices, which was an initiative spearheaded by the then Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Sri Lanka, the late Honorable Lakshman Kadiragama, paving the way for the international recognition of Vesak, a day commemorated by millions of Buddhists the world over. Sri Lanka considers it is an honor and a privilege to lead and participate in the annual celebration of Vesak in UN fora along with member states. I would like to extend my appreciation to the government of the Kingdom of Thailand for co-organizing this event. I also wish to thank the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, who recently visited Sri Lanka along with Venerable monks, undertook a historic walk for peace, thus conveying the message of peace and goodwill to all living beings. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Vesak commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Buddha, who showed the world the true potential of the human mind and left behind a teaching that provides a clear path to peaceful, meaningful, and compassionate living. The message of Buddhism is peace, or Santi, which is both an internal state of mind and external reality, stemming from principles of nonviolence, compassion, and mindfulness remain relevant at today's world than ever. Buddhism is a journey to find a solution to the endless cycle of suffering caused by the natural limitations of life, such as illness and death, and by man-made social constructs that create division. The Buddha spoke of universal truths that cut through social constructs and offered logical reasoning as to why compassion should be a way of life. The Buddha led down a path to Nibbana, the ultimate bliss and the purest form of happiness, arriving through the Noble Eightfold Path. He taught that what is common to all human beings is consciousness itself. He explained that who we are is merely an experience, a story built upon that consciousness, shaped by internalized views. These views create a sense of separation among us. When widely accepted, they become part of the social fabric. This sense of separation is driven by our attachment to these views. The Buddha identified attachment as the root of suffering. Throughout human history, much of human suffering has arisen along lines of division: state, race, gender, color, and even religion. These divisions create conditions where individuals are pitted against one another. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, when Buddhism spread throughout the globe, millions of men and women sought Nibbana by following this path, either entering the Sangha order or by following the teachings as secular followers. Across these vast regions, societies shaped their lives around Buddhist teachings. Sri Lanka places the Buddha's teachings at the heart of our national ethos. The government is aligning the pursuit of economic development with environmental and ethical stewardship through the Clean Sri Lanka program, where we reposition sustainability with a vision towards environment, governance, economy, and social well-being. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Let us hope that our shared determination for a better future will renew trust in the multilateral system, one where states are able to exchange ideas with mutual understandings, where compromise is not seen as weakness but as strength. May the four Brahmaviharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekka guide us in fostering global peace and harmony. On behalf of the people of Sri Lanka, I wish all of you inner peace and the strength to walk the noble path. May the noble triple gem bless you all. I thank you.
I wish to thank the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism of Sri Lanka for his video message.
Now I have the honor to introduce the video message from His Excellency Mr. Sihasak Ketkaew, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand.
Venerable monks, President of the General Assembly, Secretary General, Honorable Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka, Excellencies, distinguished participants. It is a pleasure for me to join you today to commemorate the International Day of Vesak. I thank the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka for its continued partnership in co-hosting this annual event. Vesak Day marks the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Lord Buddha. These are defining moments that embody the journey from ignorance to wisdom and from suffering to peace. It invites both reflection and renewal, reminding us that even in times of uncertainty, there is a path forward. And we are, without question, living through such a time. Conflict, suffering, and division have become part of our shared reality. In this context, the Buddha's teachings offer a guiding light to help us navigate the path ahead. Three principles in particular speak to the challenges of the world today. The first is compassion, the ability to see beyond ourselves and recognize the dignity of others. It calls on us to protect the vulnerable and to ensure that progress does not leave anyone behind. The second is mindfulness, the discipline to pause, to listen, to act with care. It helps us make decisions that are measured, responsible, and forward-looking. The third is balance, the middle path. Between competing priorities, it reminds us that enduring solutions lie in finding the right balance. Taken together, these principles speak to how we should relate to one another and how we can shape the systems we depend on. These values resonate deeply with the mission and principles of the United Nations. At its core, the UN Charter reflects the same understanding that our futures are interconnected and that progress must be shared. Excellencies, distinguished participants, Vesak Day reminds us that peace begins within, but it must also extend beyond ourselves into actions and our cooperation across borders. Thailand remains committed to working with all partners to advance dialogue, mutual understanding, and cooperation guided by these values. May Vesak Day be a moment to reconnect, to foster peace through understanding, and to build a more cooperative, inclusive, and sustainable future for all. I thank you.
I wish to thank His Excellency the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand for his video message. I now have the honor to introduce the video message by His Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations.
On the day of Vesak, Buddhists around the world commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Buddha. This year, Vesak comes at a moment when the human family is embroiled in geopolitical tensions, division, and conflict. In 2023, I had the honor of visiting the Buddha's birthplace in Lumbini, Nepal. It reinforced my conviction that the antidote to this turmoil can be found in his timeless teachings of nonviolence, compassion, and service to others. Guided by the Buddha's example, let us summon our shared humanity and build the more peaceful and sustainable world all people need and deserve. Happy Vesak Day to all.
I wish to thank the Secretary General for his video message. Now we shall move on to the section which include religious sermons and blessings.
On this auspicious day of celebrating the International Day of Vesak, I respectfully invite the Most Venerable Aludgama Dhammajoti Thero, Chief Incumbent Priest of the New York Buddhist Vihara, and the President of the New York Buddhist Vihara Foundation to conduct the religious blessings.
Dear friends of the Dhamma, to observe 5 precepts, please say Namo Tassa 3 times. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhaපadaṃ samadhiyāmi Adinādānā vīramani sikkhaපadaṃ samadhiyāmi Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhaපadaṃ samadhiyāmi Musāvādā vīramani sikkhaපadaṃ samadhiyāmi Surāmiraya majjapamādāṭṭhānā vīramani sikkhaපadaṃ samadhiyāmi තිසරණේන සද්ධින් පංචසීලං ධම්මං සාදුකං සුරක්ෂිතං කତ୍වා අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං.
Venerable Sangha members, let us recite Metta Karni Metta Sutta, wishing peace and happiness to the world. All of us together having metta thoughts, let us chant the sutra together with us.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karaniya matta kusalena yang tang santang padang abhisamipca sakho ujuca sujuca suaco cassa mudu anatimani santussa koca subaroca appakiccoca sallauka buddhi santendriyoca nipakoca Appagabbo kulesu ananugiddo naca khuddang samacare kinciyena vinyu pare upavadeyung sukino vakemino hontu sabbe satta bhavangtu sukitatta yeke cipane bhutatti tasava thavarava anavasesa digava yemanta majjhima rasa kanukhatula ditthava yeva additha yeca dure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavesi sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta paro parang nikumpete nati manyete katta cinang kanci vyarosana patigha sanyana anya manyassa dukkha micceya mata yathaniyang puttang ayusa eka putta Evampi sabba bhutesu mana sambhavaye parimanang mettang ca sabba lokasming mana sambhavaye aparimanang uddang adoca tiriyang ca asambhavadang averang asapattang tettang carang nisingno Asayanu yavatassa vigatamiddo etang sating aditteya brahma metang viharang idamau ditteng ca anupagamma silevadassane sampanno kamesu vineyya getang nahi jatu gabba seyang punareti sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te.
I thank the Venerable Theros for the blessings.
Now I have the honor to invite most venerable monks from Putthai Thavorn Vanaram Temple, Queens, New York, led by Pramaha Tuvin, Abbot of Putthai Thavorn Vanaram Temple and President of Wat Putthai Thavorn, Albany, New York, to conduct the religious blessings.
Good afternoon, Venerable monks, Excellency, delegate honors, guests, and friends in peace. Before I list the chanting for peace, I ask all of you first to make your own heart peaceful. The Buddha taught the outer peace cannot last without inner peace. Real peace begins when human beings learn to understand and overcome the suffering within themselves. May all listeners here today cultivate wisdom, compassion, and inner peace for the benefits of all beings. May peace be with you. Thank you. Sappha Putthanupa Mena Sappha Dhammanupa Mena Sappha Sankhanupa Mena Puttha Ratanang Dhamma Ratanang Sankha Ratanang Tinang Ratananang Nupa Mena Chatura Siti Sahapsakamma Kanthan Nupa Mena Pikakataya Nupa Mena Chinnasavaka Nupa Mena Sabbete Rokha Sabbete Phaya Sabbete Antaraya Sabbete Upatava Sabbete Tunnimitta Sabbete Avamangkaram Vinatsantu Ayuvattako Dhanavattako Sirivattako Yasavattako Paravattako Vanavattako Sukavattako Hontu Sappadatu Karo Kapayam Rasota Santu Jupatkawang Anikang Antaraya Pivinat Santu Tate Chasataya Setitanang Sotim Pakayang Sukang Parang Siri Ayujawan Nojapokang Bodhi Jayasava Satawat Saja Ayu Jashivasi Pavantu Te Pavatu Sapamangkarang Rangkantu Sapat Vata Sapa Putthanupambena Satha Soti Pavantu Te Pavatu Sapamangkarang Rangkantu Sapate Vata Sapat Manupambena Satha Soti Pavantu Te Pavatu Sapamangkarang Rangkantu Sapate Vata Sapat Kanu Amena Satha Soti Pavantu Te.
I thank the Venerable Thero for the blessings.
I now have the honor to introduce the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, who will be addressing this gathering. The Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra led the Global Walk for Peace, the 2,300-mile journey across the United States and peace walks in South Asia, conveying the message of peace, mindfulness, and compassion. He is also the Vice President of the Huang Dao Vipassana Bhavana Center in Texas. This April, Bhikkhu Paññākāra visited Sri Lanka with a group of Venerable Bhikkhus for a 7-day walk for peace pilgrimage from Anuradhapura to Colombo. During the visit, he paid homage to sacred Buddhist sites, carried the sapling of the sacred Jayasri Mahabodhi to the US. Aloka was also part of this journey. It's my honor to now invite Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra to address the gathering.
Namo Buddhassa, Namo Dhammassa, Namo Sanghassa. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, Honorable Ambassadors, respected Mahasangha, respected religious leader, representatives of the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. I humbly offer my greeting to all of you on this sacred occasions of the International Day of Vesak. Today, we gather here at the United Nations to honor the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing away of our Lord Buddha, a being whose message of wisdom, compassion, mindfulness, and peace continue to guide humanity more than 2,600 years later. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the permanent missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand, to the United Nations for organizing this meaningful commemoration, and to all nations and participants present here today. Vesak is not only a celebration for Buddhists, it is also an opportunity for humanity to reflect deeply upon the condition of our world, our societies, and most importantly, the conditions of our own hearts and mind. In today's world, technologies and science have made remarkable developments. We can communicate across continents within seconds. We can cure diseases that were once fatal. We have built a powerful system of great complexity and efficiency. Yet, despite all of this progress, many people continue to suffer deeply. We see conflict amongst nations, divisions among communities, fear among neighbors, loneliness amongst individuals, and emotional suffering quietly carried within millions of hearts. Many people long for peace, yet struggle to find peace within themselves. This is why the teachings of the Buddha remain profoundly relevant today. The Buddha taught that peace does not begin in governments or institutions alone. Peace begins within the human mind. A restless mind creates sufferings. An angry mind creates divisions. A fearful mind creates harm. But a compassionate mind creates healing. A mindful heart creates understanding, and a peaceful individual can help transform families, communities, and even nations. In Buddhism, we are taught that hatred cannot end hatred. Only compassion can end hatred. Only understanding can overcome fear. And only wisdom can guide humanity away from suffering. This truth remains as important today as it was thousands of years ago. In our modern world, many people are searching for happiness in external things, status, wealth, recognition, or power. Yet, often, even after achieving these things, the hearts remain unsettled. Why? Because lasting peace cannot be purchased. It cannot be forced. It must be cultivated carefully through mindfulness, compassion, patience, and loving kindness. Peace is not passive. Peace is a practice. Peace is how we speak to one another. Peace is how leaders use their influence. Peace is how communities care for the vulnerable. Peace is how we treat all beings and nature itself. A peaceful world cannot be created by hearts filled with anger, greed, or hatred. For this reason, inner transformation is not separate from global transformation. They are deeply connected. When we heal ourselves, we begin to heal the world around us. Peace must become action. Peace must walk among the people, step by step, person by person, nation by nation. Peace is built gradually through conscious actions. No lasting peace can emerge from hatred or violence. True peace is built through understanding, patience, dialogue, and compassion. Today, our world also faces another challenge, disconnection. Although humanity is more digitally connected than ever before, many people feel emotionally isolated. We have witnessed this many times at our temple in Fort Worth, Texas, and as well as on our walk for peace. Young people especially are growing up in a world filled with noise, pressure, competition, and constant distraction. Many are searching for meaning. Many are silent, struggling with anxiety, loneliness, and hopelessness. This is why compassion and mindfulness are no longer optional values for humanity. They are essential. If we teach children only how to compete, but not how to care for one another, we risk creating a productive yet suffering world. We must teach future generations not only intelligence but mindfulness, not only ambitions but kindness, not only achievement but humanity. This responsibility belongs not only to governments or religious institutions, it belongs to all of us. Every parent, every teacher, every leader, every community, every nation. The Buddha's teachings remind us that every human being possesses the capacity for compassion. Regardless of nationality, religions, race, language, or social status, all people wish to live free from suffering. All people wish to feel safe, valued, and loved. For this reason, interfaith understanding and mutual respect are deeply important in our world today. Different traditions may use different words, symbols, and practice. Yet many spiritual paths ultimately encourage compassion, peace, humanity, service, and respect for life. We must learn not only to tolerate one another, but to genuinely listen to one another. Our future depends upon our ability to recognize our shared humanity. The world does not need more hatred. The world does not need more greed. The world does not need more violence. The world needs compassion. The world needs wisdom. The world needs healing. The world needs peace. As Buddhists, we are also reminded to extend compassion beyond humanity itself. We must protect nature. We must care for the animals. We must recognize the deep interconnection of all life. From a Buddhist perspective, all sentient beings share the experience of fear, pain, and the desire to live. Animals, like humans, seek safety, comfort, and freedom from suffering. Yet in many parts of the world today, countless animals endure suffering through neglect, exploitation, and unnecessary harm. An industrial system of food production, experimentation, and entertainment often treat animals as objects rather than living beings. When we reflect deeply, we begin to see that compassion cannot be selective. If compassion is genuine, it naturally extends beyond human boundaries. To cultivate kindness towards animals is not separate from cultivating kindness towards humans. It is part of the same moral and spiritual development. When we harm other beings unnecessarily, we also lose our own sensitivity. When we protect life, we refine our awareness and strengthen our capacity for empathy. The Buddha's teachings of non-harming invites us to expand our circle of care as widely as possible. To understand that all life is interconnected is true wisdom. Caring for animals is therefore not a secondary concern. It is part of cultivating a peaceful world. A society that respects life in all its forms is a society that moves closer to true harmony. At the same time, our responsibility extends to the environment that sustains all beings. The earth is not separate from us. It is the condition to our survival. When nature is degraded, all beings suffer. When ecosystem collapse, human society also become unstable. When humanity lives without mindfulness towards the environment, suffering eventually follows for all beings. Please know that caring for the earth is also an act of great compassion. Today, here at the United Nations, I believe there is still reason for hope. Hope exists whenever human beings choose kindness over hatred. Hope exists whenever nations choose dialogue over conflict. Hope exists whenever communities come together in mutual respect. And hope exists whenever humanity remembers that peace begins within. On this sacred day of Vesak, may we reflect not only upon the enlightenment of the Buddha, but also upon our own responsibility to bring greater compassion into the world. And so during the peace walk in the United States and the Sri Lanka, the message that I always share is always about peace and mindfulness. After all these, if we cannot cultivate on mindfulness, if we cannot practice mindfulness, in this busy world, we are way too busy chasing the outside world, chasing the materialities and so on. For that reason, we've forgotten ourselves. And we always react when things happen. When anything happens to us, we always react with hatred, with anger. That is why we suffer. And in order for us to end this suffer, there is no other ways beside practicing mindfulness to manage our emotion. Once we be able to manage our emotion, sufferings will be softened. If we can just take 1 hour per day to practice the breathing in and out within our nostril, aware of each breath going in and out, and be mindful with all thoughts, all words, and actions throughout the day, our days will be so much meaningful and beautiful. Let's say if we are working every single day in the office, at least 8 hours per day of working. We can also practice mindfulness while we work. Let's say 1 hour passed by of working. You can just take 1 minute, close your eyes and relax and cultivate on that breathing. Be mindful with each breath going in and out. Just 1 minute, and then go back to work. And then every hour passed by, just take 1 minute to do that. And do one thing at a time instead of multitasking ourselves. If we can do that every day, and plus, our mind is like a monkey that I always share that if we have nothing for the mind to do, it will pick up all the trash to chew it over and over. Trash are those angry things, unhappy, suffer, so on. Those I call trash because they are not usable, they are not beneficial for us. When our mind is empty, it's automatically picking up all those trash to think it over and over. That is when we are overwhelmed with thoughts and then we suffer. For that reason, I encourage all of us and all the people in this world to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't for Buddhists, it's for all beings, all human beings to practice because it's within our breath. So every day in the morning when we wake up, if we let ourselves using the cell phone, doing something else without practicing the mindfulness, then our day will be just back to normal, back to the old days again. But if when we wake up in the morning, we make our bed, and then we write out the message, the statement, say, today is going to be my peaceful day. A very simple statement, but it's very powerful that it reminds us throughout the day. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Just get a piece of paper and a pen out and write that down. After you write that down, use our eye to read it over and over. When our eyes and our mind is pairing with each other, that is when we practice mindfulness. And then after reading that with our eyes, now we read it out loud with our mouth to tell the universe that today is going to be my peaceful day so that no one in this world can mess it up. No one can mess it up except ourselves. If we choose our day to be peaceful, regardless of what coming towards us, if we still be able to manage our emotion, our day will still be peaceful. Let's just say all the human beings in this nation, in this universe, in this world, repeat this message every single morning. What's gonna happen if all of us spread that peace message to the universe? It's because we've been spreading hate, we've been spreading anger, hatred, delusion, greedy, and so much to the universe. That is why we receive back with all kinds of disasters. Disaster is not ended yet. It's still increasing every single day if we are not mindful and we still spreading hate and delusion and anger to the universe. For that reason, If we all can just practice this one simple statement every single morning, today is going to be my peaceful day. If we can just say that out loud to the universe, and I truly believe that universe will receive that energy and shower back down with love and kindness and peace. That is when this world will be bloom with peace and flourish throughout this universe. So I wish that during this Vesak day, this message, the message of mindfulness that the Buddha taught us for a very long time, now is the time for all of us to reflect that, take that into action, to shape our life, to shape our families, our neighbors, community, our nation, and our world. Peace can only spread once we are mindful, once we are at peace. We cannot expect the world to be at peace when we are filled with anger and delusions. So let us all practice this statement every day to make our day peaceful and to make our nation, our world be at peace. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you.
I thank the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra for addressing this gathering. Namo Buddhaya. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I now invite the pre-established list of speakers to deliver their statements. The delegations who have not registered earlier may wish to press the microphone button if they wish to request the floor. First, I invite the distinguished permanent representative of Myanmar to deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Venerable Mahasangha, Excellency, distinguished colleagues, and dear participants, good afternoon, Minglawa. At the outset, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to Ambassador Jayanatha of Sri Lanka and Ambassador Chatchai of Thailand and their respective permanent missions for co-hosting the commemorations of International Day of Vesak. At a time when the international community is confronting multifaceted crises, with humanity falling into extreme danger, Vesak is a time for us to reflect on the Buddha's timeless teachings of humanity, mindfulness, compassion, and non-violence. In Myanmar, however, such practices has become more challenging than ever since the illegal military coup in February 2021 and subsequent atrocities of the military. Accordingly, Myanmar people's suffering has become profound, ranging from displacement, extreme poverty, and a significant lack of essential services to the loss of so many innocent lives. Nonetheless, the resilient spirit of our people remains unbroken, yearning for the light of Dhamma and genuine peace. It is in the spirit of resilience that we find immense inspiration today. I wish to extend my deepest gratitude to the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra and all the monks who undertook the grueling Walk for Peace journey from Texas to the Washington, D.C. We are also profoundly honored to be joined today by the monks from Myanmar, including the Bhikkhu who participated in this historic 2,300 miles journey. For the people of Myanmar, this pilgrimage brought hope and strength to us at this critical time of people thirst for peace. Moreover, it's also carried a deeply emotional resonance, witnessing a diverse group of monks marching steadfastly for peace does serve as a powerful, moving reminder of the role played by monks in the struggle of peace in Myanmar. We thank you for your incredible endurance, your wisdom, and your unyielding spirit throughout your physical sacrifice. You have shown our people and the world that peace cultivated within naturally ripples outward, keeping the light of people alive for those struggling in the dark. This serves as a powerful example, and it reminds us, members of the global community, that metta, loving kindness, requires active, tireless effort. Therefore, let us not merely speak of peace, but work towards it together. I humbly ask you all to keep people in crisis, including the people of Myanmar, in your minds and hearts. Please pray for our country's peace and stability, and peace and stability of the world. Please providing stronger and effective support to our people in their efforts towards building peaceful, sustainable, prosperous, just and inclusive future Myanmar. Let all of us continue practicing the Four Noble Truths and keep spreading metta to people around the world for greater peace. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Myanmar for the statement, and I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Kyrgyzstan to deliver the remarks.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellencies, Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, distinguished colleagues and participants of today's event. The Kyrgyz Republic joins the international community in commemorating the International Day of Vesak and expresses its appreciation to the Permanent Missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for organizing this event. Today, as the world faces growing conflicts and global instability, the values embodied in the teachings of Buddha, such as compassion, nonviolence, tolerance, and respect for human dignity, are becoming increasingly relevant. These principles are fully in line with the fundamental goals and values of the United Nations. As a multi-ethnic and multi-confessional country, Kyrgyzstan traditionally attaches great importance to intercultural and interreligious dialogue, mutual respect, and peaceful coexistence. We are convinced that promoting a culture of peace, moderation, and spiritual values is essential for strengthening a sustainable and just international order. In this regard, it is particularly important that the international community continue to join efforts in the name of peace, solidarity, and sustainable development guided by the principle of humanism and shared responsibility for the future of humanity. May Vesak Day serve as a reminder of the need to demonstrate greater compassion, wisdom, and mutual understanding in today's world. Thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Kyrgyzstan for his statement, and I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Nepal to deliver the remarks.
Excellencies, Most Venerable Paññākāra and others, monks, distinguished delegates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to join you today as we gather to commemorate the International Day of Vesak, also known as Buddha Purnima. I commend the Ambassador Jayanta and Ambassador Chorchai for convening this very important observance. On these auspicious occasions, I wish to extend my warmest greetings and best wishes to all the distinguished delegates present here, as well as to millions of Buddhist followers across the globe. Excellencies, Vesak is not merely a religious observance. It is a universal tribute to Lord Buddha, the light of Asia. It marks the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing into Mahaparinirvana, the triple sacred moment that continues to guide humanity towards compassion, wisdom, and peace. This is an occasion to reflect on the timeless teachings of Buddha: compassion, non-violence, tolerance, mindfulness, and the pursuit of wisdom. These are universal values that continue to bind us together. These are the principles that resonate with people of all faiths, of all beliefs, and all cultures. At a time marked by conflict, inequality, mistrust, climate challenges, and growing polarizations and social fragmentations, Vesak invites us to rediscover the moral clarity that lies at the heart of peaceful coexistence. Indeed, these teachings of Buddha are enduring and they remain as relevant as ever. Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, celebrating Vesak in this chamber could not be more fitting. Is the teaching of Lord Buddha and the Charter of the United Nations are deeply complementary in their shared aspirations for peace, for human dignity, and the well-being of the whole humanity. The United Nations was founded on the principles of peace, dignity, equality, and cooperation among nations. Principles that closely resonate with the timeless wisdom of Buddha and reinforce our collective commitment to building a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. Excellencies, for Nepal, this occasion carries deep spiritual and historical significance. For it was in Lumbini, Nepal, the Lord Buddha was born, and from where his timeless message of peace, compassion, non-violence, and universal fraternity spread across civilizations. From this sacred origin, the Buddha's teachings have transcended borders and generations, offering enduring guidance to humanity. Lumbini, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stands as a symbol of peace, spiritual reflections, and renewal, as well as our shared cultural heritage. It reminds the world of the enduring values of peace, compassion, the quiet strength of non-violence, and the wisdom of harmony that unite us as human family. In recognition of its enduring significance to humanity, Nepal continues to promote Lumbini as the fountain of peace, as well as a global center for pilgrimage, for reflections, and for spiritual renewal. Distinguished colleagues, on this solemn occasion of Vesak, let's reflect some important messages. First, as also highlighted by Venerable Paññākāra, Lord Buddha reminds us that peace begins within and it must be consciously cultivated. Inner peace is the foundation of global harmony, solidarity, and cooperation among nations. Second, compassion must guide our responses, whether addressing inequality, displacement, or humanitarian crisis. Empathy, kindness, and compassion must save our collective actions. The teachings of Buddha remind us that compassion is not a virtue, but a guiding force for action, essential for fostering unity, upholding human dignity, and advancing justice in our shared world. Third, mindfulness must guide our decision-making. The wisdom of Lord Buddha reminds us that our awareness, inner discipline, and right understanding are essential for acting with balance, with responsibility, and with wisdom in an increasingly complex world. Fourth, unity must overcome division. Vesak calls upon us to rise above differences of race, religions, and nationality, and to strengthen solidarity and shared humanity across cultures, across faiths, and across nations. Fifth, sustainability must define progress, for it is our collective moral responsibility. True development must balance human advancement with respect for nature and future generations. The teachings of Gautam Buddha remind us of the principle of interdependence and non-harm, encouraging restraint, responsibility, harmony with all forms of life is the foundations of a truly sustainable future. Excellencies, as we commemorate Vesak, let us renew our collective resolve and to speak peace, to practice peace, and to deliver peace. Let us embody compassion in our daily conduct and strengthen dignity, justice, and harmony for all, guided by the timeless teachings of Lord Buddha. Let us deepen cooperation among nations and reinforce the spirit of multilateralism in addressing the challenges of our time. Together, let us draw inspirations from Vesak to build a more peaceful, just, equitable, and sustainable world. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Nepal for the statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Japan to deliver the remarks.
Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, Venerable monks, excellencies, it is an honor to speak on this occasion as we commemorate the International Day of Vesak. I would like to thank the permanent representatives of Sri Lanka and Thailand for organizing this annual event, which provides us the opportunity to collectively reflect on the spirit of Buddhism. I would like to conclude by offering my best wishes to those celebrating Vesak Day and expressing my sincerest hope that this auspicious occasion will renew our commitments and efforts to overcome global crises with peace and mutual respect. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Japan for the statement, and I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Mongolia.
Thank you, honorable monks, excellencies, and distinguished delegates. At the outset, let me express my sincere appreciation to the permanent missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for annually organizing this very meaningful commemoration of the International Day of Vesak. Vesak is a sacred occasion for Buddhists around the world, yet its significance extends far beyond any single tradition. The values enshrined in the Lord Buddha's teaching, compassion, nonviolence, mindfulness, wisdom, and moderation, speak to the consciousness of all humanity, and their relevance only deepens in times of uncertainty and strife. Mongolia is honored to be in the presence of Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, and I thank you very much for your very powerful and deeply philosophical message for peace today to us. For Mongolia, Buddhism is first introduced in the 13th century and flourished profoundly in the 16th century, becoming one of the defining forces shaping our culture, ethics, morals, and the way of life. Today, the majority of believers in Mongolia identify as Buddhist, and Buddhist values continue to nourish our national identity and social harmony. In Mongolia, Vesak is observed as the Great Duchen Day, marked through prayers, acts of charity, community gathering in the spirit of peace and compassion. Excellencies, at the United Nations, where nations gather to seek common solutions to conflict, inequality, and human suffering, The message of Vesak is particularly timely. The Buddha's teaching of the middle path, balance, moderation, restraint between extremes, resonates deeply with Mongolia's own approach to international relations, foreign policy built on dialogue, openness, and peaceful coexistence. We see in the middle path not merely as a personal spiritual practice, but a model for statecraft and multilateralism itself. The principles of the UN Charter, human dignity, sovereign equality, peaceful coexistence, echo the Buddha's teaching with remarkable closeness. Vesak reminds us these commitments are not merely legal obligations, but moral ones rooted in the deepest traditions of human civilization. On this sacred occasion, Mongolia reaffirms its respect for the teachings of Lord Buddha and its solidarity with all peoples who carry these values in their hearts. May Vesak be not only a commemoration of the past, but a compass for our future. May it guide us as a Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra has shown us the walk toward peace with steady steps and open hearts. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Mongolia for the statement, and I next invite the distinguished permanent representative of India to deliver the statement.
Most venerable monks and nuns, excellencies, dear colleagues, Namo Buddhaya. I thank the Permanent Mission of Thailand and Sri Lanka, and especially Ambassador Jayanta and Ambassador Charchai for convening us to commemorate the International Vesak Day. I'm deeply privileged to listen to the sermons of Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra. In an environment of discord and distrust, the walk for peace led by your venerance in February this year was a source of both inspiration and solace. The simplicity of your message and action resonated deeply with people. Friends, I must also acknowledge that I look forward each year to this event, when the ECOSOC chamber becomes a chamber of peace, compassion, and loving kindness, with the presence of the many monks and nuns in this hall. It is such simple and yet profound values and actions that form the foundation of Lord Buddha's teachings. His message assumes salience in a world increasingly besieged by uncertainty, suspicion, division, and conflict. In such a world, Lord Buddha's teachings remind us that peace is within, and from there extends outwards to families, communities, and indeed nations. The four noble truths that are foundational to Buddhism teach self-awareness and the realization that we are interdependent in this world. The former helps us reflect and identify the root cause of issues, critical to resolve discord, and the latter compels us to find solutions that are mutually beneficial, vital for a sustainable solution. Friends, India has been at the forefront in its efforts to protect and revive not only the teachings of the Buddha, but also the bond between the followers of Buddhism across the world. In the past 2 years, based on request from our partners, the Government of India has facilitated 2 significant expositions of the holy relics of Lord Buddha in Southeast Asia. The first, held in Thailand from 22nd of February to 19th of March 2024, included the relics of Lord Buddha and his disciples and witnessed wide public participation across 4 venues, with over 4 million devotees in attendance. The second exposition was undertaken in Vietnam from the 2nd of May to 2nd of June 2025, where relics from Nagarjunakonda in Andhra Pradesh in India were displayed at 9 locations, drawing an estimated 14 million devotees. Similarly, in November 2025, the most sacred Piprahua relics, or the sacred remains of Lord Buddha, were sent on exposition to Bhutan. In January this year, India also organized a second Global Buddhist Summit on the theme Collective Wisdom, United Voice, and Mutual Coexistence. It witnessed the participation of Supreme Patriarchs, the heads of national Buddhist Sanghas, eminent monks and nuns, scholars, and senior dignitaries from across the world. Excellencies and dear friends, as we mark the International Vesak Day, we are reminded that the teachings of Lord Buddha are not confined to history. They are deeply relevant today, offering an alternate perspective to address issues. Through compassion, coexistence and peace. I once again thank the permanent missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for bringing us together to reflect on the values and message of Lord Buddha. Thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of India for the statement, and I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Pakistan to deliver the statement.
Venerable monks and nuns, excellencies, dear friends, it's my great honor to be part of the commemoration of the International Day of the Vesak today. And I would like to felicitate our Buddhist brothers and sisters and all those who are celebrating. And I wish to thank the permanent missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for organizing this gathering, and our special thanks to Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra for his insightful remarks. Vesak Day reminds us of the remarkable odyssey of Lord Buddha for enlightenment and his soul-stirring message of mindfulness, peace, compassion, and love, which are indeed the essence of humanity. At a time when international landscape is torn by conflict and strife, when individual soul is grappling with spiritual void, the importance of Buddha's message has increased manifold. Buddhism's connection with Pakistan is celebrated and enduring. It was in the ancient land of Gandhara in Pakistan where Buddhism was reinvigorated. The Gandhara civilization flourished from 1st century BC to 7th century AD. Its brilliance and innovation found best expression in Gandhara art, which captivates Buddha's life and message. Gandhara civilization also established Pakistan's linkages with the Buddhist countries of South and East Asia. Year-round, monks and other visitors from these regions and beyond arrive at the Buddhist seminaries of Pakistan. The General Assembly resolution titled Promotion of Interreligious and Intercultural Dialogue, Understanding and Cooperation for Peace, that is jointly tabled by the Philippines and Pakistan. Colleagues, Buddhism is our shared heritage. Pakistan will continue working with the international community to promote the universal message of Buddha for international peace, harmony, and tranquility. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Pakistan for his remarks.
I now have the honor to invite the distinguished permanent representative of Laopedia to deliver the remarks.
Co-chairs, most venerable monks and nuns, excellencies, colleagues, at the outset I would like to commend Ambassador Churchai and Ambassador Jayantha and the permanent missions of Thailand and Sri Lanka for organizing this commemoration. I would also like to thank the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra for his address. It gives me a great pleasure to join this important event to mark the 27th anniversary of International Day of Vesak here at the UN. The Day of Vesak is one of the most important days of Buddhism, when Buddhists around the world commemorate the birth, attainment of enlightenment, and the passing of the Lord Buddha on the same day. We remember this day to reflect on the Lord Buddha's teachings and message of wisdom, compassion, peace, and mutual understanding and respect, which continue to resonate and influence millions of people around the world to follow and respect. The commemoration of the International Day of Vesak here at the United Nations headquarters is of great importance, as this commemoration not only reminds us of the teachings and message of the Lord Buddha, but also illustrates the United Nations' continued strong commitment to the principles of respect for diversity, promoting greater solidarity for peaceful, harmonious, and sustainable world, and enhancing multilateralism. For the Laopedia, where most number of people are Buddhist believers, Buddhism has anti-ethnic people, all of which have contributed to the maintenance of peace, social order, harmony, and justice. It has been more than 2.5 millennia since the Buddha's teachings on the day of Vesak. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Lao PDR for your statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished representative of the Republic of Korea to deliver the remarks. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Co-Chair, Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, Excellencies, distinguished guests. It is a great pleasure to participate in this meaningful occasion. We gather to honor Vesak, celebrating wisdom that spans millennia. Amid the conflicts and suffering that persist around us, we often find ourselves asking, does the Buddha's wisdom, 25 centuries old, still matter? I see the answer in my own country, Korea. Like many Koreans, I have observed Buddha's birthday celebration every spring, and I can witness something interesting and distinct. In Korea, a country known for K-pop and dynamic cultural change, it is young people who actively embrace Buddhist tradition. At this year's Lotus Lantern Festival, a UNESCO heritage, more than half of the participants were in their 20s. From temple stays to Netflix series on temple cuisine, these Asian practices have quietly entered every day of Korean young people. I cannot claim to fully see into their minds of young people, but I can sense that what they are looking for. They face relentless competition and fear of achievement. They live in a digital world that connects them to everything, but leaves many of them alone. In Buddhist values of mindfulness and compassion, they may find both refuge and practical wisdom. This year's Lotus Lantern Festival in Korea carries a fitting theme: meditation for inner peace, harmony for world. I cannot speak these words without honoring Venerable Paññākāra, whose Listen Talk of Peace carried this theme onto the roads of America. Across 9 states, from Texas all the way to Washington, communities came together along his path, across faiths, across cultures, across the divisions of our time. Inner stillness, walking outward. In the absence of war, the UNESCO Constitution reminds us that war begins in minds of men, and there we must construct the defense of peace. The Buddha taught the same truth 25 centuries earlier. Lasting peace begins within. Whether through a young people finding stillness in temple courtyard or a monk who walked 2,300 miles for peace, the spirit of Vesak is alive among us today. I wish you all joyful and meaningful day of Vesak. Thank you.
Thank the Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea for your statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished Permanent Representative of Indonesia to deliver the remarks. The floor is yours.
Honorable monks, excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to express my appreciation to the Permanent Missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for organizing this event. I should also like to thank Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra for his message of compassion, peace, and mindfulness. On this occasion of the International Day of Vesak, Indonesia conveys its sincere greetings and best wishes to Buddhist communities across the world. In Indonesia, over 2 million Buddhists form an important part of our diverse society. Through the enduring teachings of compassion and wisdom, Buddhist communities continue to contribute meaningfully to harmony and the culture of peace. The celebration of Vesak in Indonesia is centered around Borobudur, one of the world's greatest Buddhist monuments, which every year welcomes thousands of pilgrims from across the globe. Borobudur stands not only as a symbol of spiritual reflection, but also as a reminder of humanity's shared aspiration for peace, coexistence, and mutual understanding. At a time when our world continues to face enormous challenges, the values embodied in Vesak remain profoundly relevant. Compassion over hatred, dialogue over violence, and humanity over indifference. May peace, harmony, and understanding continue to flourish among all nations and peoples. I thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of Indonesia for your remarks. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished Chargé d'Affaires of Bhutan to deliver a statement.
Most venerable members of the Sangha, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I offer my deepest respects and gratitude to the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra and to all the members of the Sangha for today's blessings. I am profoundly privileged to be a part of this sacred commemoration. For this occasion and for bringing us all together in blessing and in dialogue, our sincere appreciation goes to Sri Lanka and Thailand. In the rich tapestry of the Buddhist world, Bhutan has come to occupy a singular place. We are the last Vajrayana Buddhist kingdom. This legacy is not a relic of history, but something that has been built and sustained across centuries through wisdom of our masters, the devotion of our people, and the enlightened stewardship of our kings. Buddhism is not just the bedrock of our national identity, it is a sacred inheritance, one that we are duty-bound to protect, to nurture, and to share with the world. On this front, our responsibility as a country is twofold: to preserve the depth and integrity of the Vajrayana teachings as they have been transmitted to us, and to ensure that they reach beyond the monastery and find living expression in the world. It is out of this sense of responsibility that Bhutan, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, has embarked on a vision of breathtaking ambition, the Gellifu Mindfulness City, conceived not merely as an economic zone, but as a Dharma city, a living expression of Buddhist values where human flourishing and inner development are the very foundation upon which everything is built. Bold as it is, this vision stands on ancient grounds. Lord Buddha's teachings did not endure the 2.5 millennia on their own. They were carried forward by an unbroken flame of human devotion. Masters who transmitted the wisdom, diplomats, I suppose, who promoted them, communities who embodied it, and enlightened rulers who created the conditions for it to flourish, not for its own sake, but for the benefit of everything living, present and future. Gellifu is that same call, ancient in its origins, alive in our time. This lineage will soon find a concrete expression in Gellifu Mindfulness City, a remarkable project to construct 108 stupas in a single day. On 1st November 2026, 40,000 volunteers will make a collective act of offering and intent to raise one of the spiritual landmarks of our time. That this initiative has attracted support from every corner of the world speaks to something deeper, a recognition that what Bhutan is building in Gellifu is not one country's project alone, but a shared aspiration for a more mindful and purposeful world. Yet, even as Buddhists, we do not claim sole ownership of the Dharma. The International Day of Vesak carries a distinction worth pausing on. It is the only religious observance recognized by a UN resolution, an acknowledgement, perhaps, that what the Buddha taught belongs to no single religion, no single people. Compassion is not a Buddhist monopoly. The aspiration to live life free of suffering is not ours alone to hold. In this sense, Vesak belongs to the world. So does the Gellifu Mindfulness City, not as a philosophical or spiritual offering, nor as a political declaration, but as a practical one, our small kingdom's answer to an ancient and still urgent human question realized by our Dharma King. On this most auspicious occasion, may the teachings of Lord Buddha guide us all towards greater compassion, peace, and happiness within ourselves and with one another. Thank you.
I thank the Chargé Affairs of Bhutan for your statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished Deputy Permanent Representative of the Russian Federation to deliver the remarks. The floor is yours.
Venerable distinguished co-chairs, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka and Thailand for organizing this event to mark the International Day of Vesak. Russia has traditionally promoted inter-civilizational, inter-religious cooperation, preserving cultural diversity and promoting an unifying agenda in international relations. For centuries, Christians, Orthodox, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Jews, and Buddhists have lived together in harmony, working side by side to build our shared homeland, while preserving traditions of respect and mutual understanding. Buddhism is an integral part of our country's historical and cultural heritage. It has traditionally been practiced by the peoples of the Republic of Buryatia, the Republic of Kalmykia, and the Tuva Republic. More than 1 million Buddhists are represented by over 200 religious organizations across the country. Russia implements initiatives to preserve and promote Buddhist spiritual heritage. In particular, the Ivolginsky Datsan in the Republic of Buryatia is one of the largest Buddhist centers and the place where the incorrupt body of Hambo Lama Dashi Dorjo Intigelov, revered by Buddhists worldwide, is preserved. In Elista, Kalmykia, the golden adobe of Buddha Shakyamuni, the largest Buddhist temple in Europe, has become an important center of spiritual life. Russian Buddhist organizations have actively engaged in charitable activities, support of socially vulnerable persons. They implement educational and social projects. This reflects the particular embodiment of the principles of compassion, responsibility, and respect for humanity and nature. Let the International Day of Vesak continue to remind us of the need to build trust, mutual understanding, and dialogue that is unfortunately fading out of the United Nations, and respect for all religions, thus embracing a culture of peace for the common good. Thank you.
I thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Russian Federation for the statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished Deputy Permanent Representative of Singapore to deliver the remarks. The floor is yours.
Excellencies, distinguished co-chairs, venerable members of the Sangha. On behalf of Singapore, I extend our warmest greetings of goodwill and friendship on this occasion of the International Day of Vesak. I thank the permanent missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for their leadership in organizing the commemoration of this important day. As we mark the 27th anniversary of the international recognition of Vesak at the United Nations, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of this sacred day to the work of this House. Singapore is proud to be a multicultural, multi-religious, and multiracial society. The Buddhist community is the largest religious group in Singapore, and it plays a vital role in the social fabric of our country. Known for their generosity and inclusiveness, Buddhist organizations like the Singapore Buddhist Lodge provide free meals, health care, and education to those in need, regardless of race or religion. The Singapore Buddhist Federation actively engages leaders of other faiths and participates in our racial and religious harmony circles to promote mutual understanding and respect. At a time when intolerance and division are on the rise, such interfaith dialogue is more important than ever. Vesak is among the most sacred days in the Buddhist calendar and is observed as an important religious day in Singapore. Every year, many Buddhists in Singapore mark the occasion through acts of generosity, of service and compassion, reflecting the essence of the Buddha's message through deeds and not words alone. As we honor the birth, enlightenment, and passing into nirvana of Gautama Buddha, we are called to reflect on the timeless values that the Buddha espoused: peace, compassion, nonviolence, mindfulness, tolerance, and the interdependence of all beings. At a time when the world is confronted by widening inequality, polarization, and crises, these principles are not merely spiritual ideals. They represent a practical compass for how we live together and how nations conduct themselves with one another. We appreciate the special address of the Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra, whose 2,300-mile walk for peace stands as a powerful testament that peace is not a passive aspiration, but a path that must be walked with conviction and compassion. His witness today reminds us that the values of this day must be carried beyond this chamber and translated into action. Excellencies, the values at the heart of Vesak speak to our shared humanity, and they resonate with the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, with our collective commitment to multilateralism. As we navigate this period of geopolitical uncertainty and undertake important reforms in this organization, let us draw strength from the Buddha's teaching of interdependence, the understanding that no nation, however powerful, can flourish in isolation, and that our destinies are inextricably bound. Let us renew our shared commitment to peace and work together to build a more compassionate, tolerant, and inclusive world. I wish you all a blessed and peaceful Vesak Day. Thank you.
I thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of Singapore for the statement. I now have the honor to invite the distinguished Deputy Permanent Representative of Vietnam to deliver the remarks. The floor is yours.
Most Venerables, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, my delegation thanks the permanent missions of Thailand and Sri Lanka for convening this meaningful commemoration of Vesak Day. This year's commemoration carries a moving message. The inspiring journey of Most Venerable Bhikkhu Paññākāra shows us that peace is not a distant destination. It is a path walked patiently, step by step, with discipline, compassion, and faith. That path begins within. The Dhammapada teaches that the mind precedes our words and actions. Buddhism invites us to calm the mind before we act, to soften anger rather than return it, and to meet suffering of others with compassion rather than indifference. Today, conflicts, climate change, poverty, and inequality continue to cause human suffering, falling hardest on the most vulnerable. The world is not short of words about peace. What it needs is the courage to practice peace in how we make decisions and how we act toward one another. This has direct relevance to our work at the United Nations. The UN Charter begins with the determination to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. But that mission cannot be fulfilled by institutions, statements, or resolutions alone. It requires diplomacy guided by compassion and awareness of interdependence, which encourage dialogue over confrontation, restraint over escalation, and trust building over division. For Vietnam, this reflection carries special meaning, especially as we have just marked the 51st anniversary of our national reunification. Having endured centuries of war, hardship, and sacrifice, Vietnam understands the value of peace in the deepest sense. Peace is what we have long yearned for, struggled for, and continue to nurture through reconciliation, development, and cooperation. Along this journey, Buddhism has long accompanied our people, with its values deeply woven into national life and culture. That spirit continues to guide our efforts to serve the people and contribute to the common endeavors for peace, development, and human rights. It was also reflected in our hosting of the UN Day of Vesak in 2025, where people across cultures and faiths came together in a shared reflection on Buddhist wisdom, friendship, and mutual understanding. Peace begins within, but it must be carried forward together. Excellencies, on this occasion, I extend warmest wishes to the Buddhist community around the world. I thank you.
I thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of Vietnam for his remarks. We now give the floor to the distinguished Deputy Permanent Representative for the Philippines to deliver a statement. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, dear honorable monks and nuns. The Philippines is honored to join the community of nations in celebrating the 2026 International Day of Vesak, commemorating the birth, enlightenment, and passing away of Gautama Buddha. We thank the Permanent Missions of Thailand and Sri Lanka for an important event, in line with its national policy of promoting interfaith dialogue. The Philippines issued Proclamation number 24, declaring the full moon day of May each year as Vesak Day. Buddhism was first introduced in the Philippines between the 7th and 13th centuries. Buddhism has influenced Filipino ethno-linguistic culture. Budhi in Filipino, our national language, or conscience, comes from the Sanskrit word bodhi. Sampalataya, or faith, comes from the Sanskrit samprataya. And guru, or teacher, is from the Sanskrit guru. In 2023, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, about 120,000 Filipinos identify as Buddhists. And despite the relatively small population, the Buddhist community in the country is very vibrant and active. Excellencies, I wish to note that the Philippines has partnered with Pakistan since 2004 in co-sponsoring the General Assembly resolution entitled Promotion of Interreligious and Intercultural Dialogue, Understanding, and Cooperation for Peace, which has already been tabled and is open for co-sponsorship. Promoting greater dialogue, exchange, and understanding amongst the world's religions, including Buddhism, is essential to build a culture of peace and safeguard and promote the purposes and principles of the United Nations, including enhancing international peace and security, where, as the Venerable Paññākāra highlighted very eloquently, daily reality, that peace is possible because it is within us, and that all of us need to play our parts and shine a light on others in the spirit of Lord Buddha. Thank you.
I thank the Deputy Permanent Representative of the Philippines for the statement. And I now have the honor to invite the distinguished representative of Malaysia to deliver the statement. The floor is yours.
Mr. Co-Chairs, Venerable Monks and Nuns, Excellencies, allow me to extend warm greetings and sincere wishes of a happy Vesak to all Buddhists around the world celebrating this holy day. Malaysia joins others in expressing appreciation to the Permanent Missions of Sri Lanka and Thailand for bringing us together in observance of the International Day of Vesak. This gathering serves as an important reminder of our shared responsibility to promote peace, understanding, and compassion in an increasingly complex world. Venerable Monks and Nuns, Excellencies, today, as we gather with our Buddhist friends to honor the birth, enlightenment, and passing of Gautama Buddha, we reflect on the enduring relevance of his teachings. The values of compassion, moderation, wisdom, and mindfulness continue to resonate far beyond religious boundaries and remain essential in addressing the divisions, mistrust, and suffering confronting humanity today. Malaysia is proud of its rich multicultural and multi-religious society, where diversity continues to be embraced as a source of strength and unity. Buddhism is practiced by millions of Malaysians, and Vesak has long been recognized as a national public holiday, reflecting our country's commitment to mutual respect, religious harmony, and peaceful coexistence. This year, Malaysia has further strengthened efforts to promote interfaith understanding and inclusivity through initiatives held in conjunction with the National Vesak Day celebration, including the inaugural conference on Buddhist principles and Malaysia Madani practices. The conference brought together religious leaders, scholars, and civil society representatives to promote dialogue on universal values such as compassion, mutual respect, and social harmony. Malaysia believes that the values promoted through Vesak and shared across many faiths can serve as a powerful foundation for fostering greater solidarity and understanding among communities. At a time when the world faces growing polarization and conflict, these values are more important than ever. Venerable monks and nuns, excellencies, the observance of Vesak reminds us of our common humanity and our collective aspiration for a more peaceful, just, and compassionate world. Let us continue to strengthen dialogue, tolerance, and cooperation among nations and peoples, guided by the spirit of empathy and respect for one another. On this auspicious occasion, Malaysia reaffirms its commitment to promoting harmony and peaceful coexistence both within our society and at the international level. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Malaysia for the statement. Over to you.
With that statement, we completed the pre-established list of speakers. And may I now invite, if there are any speakers that wish to take the floor, they may request by pressing the microphone button now. Yeah. The microphone is requested by the Namdea, so may I give the floor now? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ko Sunim. I'm currently interning with the United Nations Department of Global Communications, and I'm also a monastic member of the Joge Order of Korean Buddhism. I'd like to wish you all a very happy Vesak Day. At this beautiful gathering in celebration of the Buddha, we must also remember that so many people are facing the harsh reality of war, hunger, the climate crisis, and deepening inequality. I offer my gratitude to those who dedicate their lives to serve others and strive for peace. Those who labor every day to build peace for the world need spaces of peace within themselves. During my time at the UN, I have observed a growing interest among colleagues in meditation and the practical wisdom of Buddhism. In response to this interest, I have led small mindfulness sessions with seated meditation, tea meditation, and walking meditation. The United Nations celebrates the importance of mindfulness through the International Day of Meditation in December. But of course, every moment is a good moment to meditate and broaden one's vision. I'm excited about strengthening the connection between Buddhist practices and the excellent work of the United Nations. This will not only support staff's well-being, but also increase.
Well, I see the mic is requested, and my co-chair had requested me to give the floor, and may I now give the floor to you?
Yes. My name is Reverend Dr. T.K. Nakagaki, President Emeritus of Buddhist Council New York, and also Jodo Shinshu, the Japanese Pure Land Buddhist traditions. I just wanted to, I didn't have any writing, but yet I was really impressed the work for peace that Venerable Paññākāra did. And then it was so, for me, is a kind of all the Buddhist history of the United States. is change. It's a radical change for me because before, when I first came, actually I came to the United States in 1985. There's nobody know anything about Buddhism. So when you say Buddha, or even the like a laughing Buddha, and then the image of that. And if you go to the bookstore, there's no the image of that. And if you go to the bookstore, there's no Buddhist books. The difficulties of the we need a more healthier mind of the society in the United States. Before, only physical parts is their concern, and then getting to the mind concern. And then the mindfulness become very important words in a common place. So within, for me at least, within those 40 years that I'm in here, everything start changing. And now I thought because after all the wars start going back again to the society, the world. After this president and so forth, and so I thought it was anything but we bring it was not as meaningful as possible. But I thought meaningless in one way, but yet maybe people start following too. I think, and then the everyday. It's not the words they try to say, but then the body. The what do you call it? Action. So it's like before is everything is a words. Our action, and then so I feel like for me this walk was one of the historical events that we ever have in this history of the United States. So I really appreciate the efforts of Venerable. Paññākāra, and then his group, and then also all of the efforts that we are making on this country is probably fruit. It's like fruit. It's like putting the flowers start blooming all over the place all of a sudden. So it was a wonderful feeling that I have, and then we're very happy that we contribute actually these nations to be aware of the teaching of the Buddha, and so I thank you, and then with my deep gratitude. Thank you.
I thank you for your remarks, and I would give the floor back to my co-chair.
Thank you. I'll make a short closing statement. Venerable monks, excellencies, dear colleagues, it is an honor for me to deliver the closing remarks at the commemoration of the International Day of Vesak this year. This event has become a well-established tradition here at the United Nations headquarters since Sri Lanka and Thailand jointly tabled General Assembly Resolution 55.15 in the year 2000. Nearly 3 decades since its adoption, I am encouraged to witness the growing recognition of Vesak at the global level. We have seen increasing participation from member states, including the presence of national clergy, reflecting the universal resonance of Lord Buddha's teachings. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Venerable Paññākāra for the keynote speech, as well as monks from Japan, the Republic of Korea, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Thailand for their meaningful participation. I would like to also extend my appreciation to our dear colleagues and friends of dive into our shared reflection. This year, while the world is still marked by uncertainty and division, the principle of the threefold training, Sīn, Samadhi, Paññā, offers meaningful guidance. Sīn, or ethical conduct, reminds us of the importance of self-discipline, responsibility, and moral integrity. It calls on us to uphold principles, rules, and international law that safeguard peace and ensure that our actions do not harm others. Samadhi, or mental concentration, teaches us the value of calmness, mindfulness, and restraint. In a world often driven by tension and division, inner peace and clarity of mind remain essential for meaningful dialogue and peaceful resolution of conflicts. And finally, Paññā, wisdom, encourages us to look beyond immediate interests and develop a deeper understanding of our interconnected world. Such wisdom is essential in shaping inclusive, sustainable, and long-term solutions to the complex challenges facing humanity today. Ladies and gentlemen, census colleagues, on this occasion, let us carry forward the spirit of Vesak, guided by this practical wisdom. Let us strive for balance, cultivate inner peace, and work towards global harmony. I thank you so much for your time, for your interest in joining us, and anumotana to all of you. Thank you so much.